G'day guys, Googs here. I've been doing a bit of reading this week and I've been reading Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, Comrade, and I've actually read it 3 different times. And it got me thinking. There's this dynamic in there, right? You've got the bourgeoisie or the elite, and the proletariat, the poor, and it got me thinking about the dynamic there, and I went back and I did a bit of research into the way the world was, specifically in America, when it was around the time it was written in 1848. And I could see what they mean, that you were either a coal miner on the coal face or you owned the coal factory. You either worked in a textile factory or you owned the textile factory. There was no talk really of improving your position. There was no equality in that sense, and there's certainly no equality in democracy. The democratic process was only for the people who had money, the elite. Once again, the bourgeoisie versus the proletariat. And so what you had basically was a master-slave dynamic, or as he called it, the guild-master-slave dynamic. So that was back then in 1848, and I decided to have a really good think to see if I could see the bourgeoisie in the modern egalitarian liberal democracy that we have today. And I had a really good think about it. And the biggest reason I don't think that's possible today is that, A, we do have equality of opportunity. If you're willing to work hard enough and you have the talent and the ability, you can climb the ladder. And there are many different ladders you can bloody well climb. You can start your own business and start at the top of the ladder if you wish. There's no guarantee you'll ever succeed, but hey, if you don't throw your hat in the ring, that's your problem. So from the sense, can you climb the ladder? Yeah, you can. So that element of the bourgeoisie is out. How about democracy? Well, you can vote. You can have your say in the power game. So, yeah. And then I thought, well, how about the companies? These days, of course, one might think of the corporations perhaps as a bourgeoisie, but there's a problem there too, you see. About 5 years ago, McDonald's, the very famous Golden Arches Corporation, was under a lot of pressure to change its menu to make it a little bit healthier. And they introduced a salad bar, which just proves that even big corporations, of course, can be swayed by the general populace. This means that the elite, if you will, socioeconomically speaking, do listen to the people who are middle class or lower class. This is how they make money, isn't it? The majority of people spend their money at their restaurants or whatever service they provide, and they make money out of this. So, no corporations, once again, no. So I thought to myself, well, if the person at the bottom can climb the ladder, if they work hard enough and they're willing to sacrifice enough, and we don't necessarily have a bourgeoisie as it stood in the case of 1848 when Karl Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto, do we have a proletariat? And that was I spent a long time looking at that, looking at different resources I had at my disposal, Google, and went to the Australian Bureau of Statistics and looked for poorer demographics, and not in the sense of race or gender, but more as an overview, and it was quite interesting. It turns out that a lot of unemployed people, yes, they don't earn much, but the dole was always more of a catch you if you fall sort of arrangement. So you can get yourself out of being unemployed if you want to. Then you've got the disabled people. Well, they're given the disability pension because it's recognised that they cannot contribute as much to society insofar as the workforce. Therefore, the government gives them money so that they can survive. Uh, they're never going to be rich. However, at least they have something. Um, so, insofar as that dynamic goes, well, you know, the only people I can see that might be considered proletariat in that sort of idea would be disabled or elderly, really. Um, and the elderly have left the workforce. They're never coming back to the workforce, so you can count them out. Um, so, is there an oppressive socio-economic regime in this world, or at least in the West? My answer would have to be no. Not from what I've seen and not what I understand. Does this mean I can be wrong? Of course it does. And I know I've used the term wage slave before. And it's interesting, wage slave is actually something that does come from the 19th century. And yes, it was very, very much around the same time of Karl Marx and the whole idea of the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. It's saying it's only a couple of hundred years old, and people were literally slaves to their wage. These days, you can change jobs if you want. You don't have to stay in the same employer. You don't have to stay in the same kind of employment. You can move around if you want to. You can climb a ladder if you want to get out of your job and get yourself better pay to do a different job in the same company. There's no reason why not if you want to. Um, the bourgeoisie is really irrelevant, at least in terms of socio-economics. Now, there are some who would tell you otherwise, who would say, oh, well, there are certain elements of our society who are completely oppressed socio-economically. Yeah, okay, fine. Why is that? Is it because nobody wants them to to have a job? Well, no, because generally, if you're working, it means that you have money, you have ability, uh, you don't really tend to commit much crime. Uh, it's better if people work. It's better for themselves too. It's better for your self confidence. It's better for you as a human being to have money. So no, if you are in a position where you get paid by the government and you've decided to live a life of crime and you have decided, mind you, I'm going to use the word decided a lot here, or you've made a choice to live a life of crime, if you've made a choice to be unemployable, if you've made a choice to hate everybody and everything and, fuck the system, that's your choice. And that's fine. You've chosen. Congratulations, you're going to be dirt poor. You're not a part of a proletariat if you choose. Now, that's not saying there aren't homeless people. That isn't saying that there aren't people on the streets. Are they the proletariat? Unfortunately, no, they're not the proletariat. They've fallen through the cracks in society. Should we aim to help these people up? Yes, absolutely. Do we run social programs in the West to try to help these people, whether it be soup kitchens or shelters? Yes. Yes, this is true. However, you can choose. A lot of people lose a lot of confidence, I think, in the West society due to the fact that they feel they don't have a choice, and the fact that they choose to feel not have a choice, it tells you a lot. We have a lot more freedom here in the West, and after reading Karl Marx, I'm more affirm than ever that, okay, our democracy may not be the best, fine. Our business socioeconomics may not be the best, but hell, it's a shitload better than it was in the 19th century or even the 20th, as far as equality and equality of opportunity and just general equality between genders and races goes. It's the best it's ever been. One of the reasons I'm a liberal is because I know it can get better. I know we can grow on this idea and do even better. So if you're one of those people who feels oppressed and perhaps even relates to Karl Marx, and you try to make it a gendered thing or a racial thing, you don't understand Karl Marx, A. B, you don't understand the law. And C, you are creating a bourgeoisie that doesn't exist. And you are creating for yourselves to be the proletariat when you aren't. Also, that you can feel better for yourself. The truth hurts, bitches. And by bitches, I meant whingers. Because I know I'm going to get a comment on that one. Not all, fuckface. I'm Googs. Hooroo.